People, welcome back to Politricks Watch. This is Sir P. Now today I'm going to talk about what is arguably one of the biggest or most high profile cases in Jamaican history, especially as it relates to somebody who is from, quote unquote, upper class or uptown, right? People normally say, well, if you come from a certain place in Jamaica, if you have money, if you have connections, then you can't go to jail, right? No matter what. That is the narrative. But of course, my long-time listeners know I do not subscribe to mainstream narratives, especially when they're backed up mainly by false equivalencies. Right? Anytime something goes wrong, people find another case and say, well, look over this and look how come the other case there. It is almost impossible for two cases to be the exact same thing. Right? So when people try to do that, I always just shake my head and say, you know what, I'm going to let you have your fun. The case I'm going to talk about is a case surrounding now in prison man by the name of Stephen Causwell and his former girlfriend Nadia Mitchell. Now you might already be wondering, why is DPP KlLLNG picture on the screen right now? Well, in my opinion, this case is the jewel in KlLLNG's trophy cabinet, right? See, the track record of the DPP is one of, there are instances when you think very impressive work, and there are instances where you think, okay, DPP and our team dropped the ball big time. People tend to have extremist views of KlLLNG. One side think she's the most amazing DPP ever, and nobody never criticize her and our team. The next side say she's the worst thing ever, and didn't know she still have the job for, she left the job long time cause she not do nothing. Typical Jamaican hyperbole. I mean, most of it's nonsense on either side, right? But let me tell you the reality of the situation. Anybody who's a DPP in a country like Jamaica would have a warm time. Anybody who's a DPP in a country that consistently tops murder rate, right, year after year, right, well, corruption, etc., it's going to be a difficult job. KlLLNG team has dropped the ball many times, but she also has some very impressive scalps. The case with Charmaine Rattray and her daughter Crystal is one of the most impressive. The way how them fight tooth and nail, the way how them look after the witness, the way how them carry it straight through trial, dealing with a gang like Klansman, that trial was very impressive. Of course, the Klansman 50 is coming up. That one is going to be the real crown in our jewel if they pull it off, right? But the case that impressed me the most was the Stephen Causwell case. The reason why, in my opinion, it's the current crown in our jewel is because I remember it clear as day. When the incident first went down, from when Nadia Mitchell lost her life, up to the day when the verdict come down, the narrative was, nothing now come outside, Stephen Causwell go bust the case cause him have one bag of money, and to owe him money enough, to owe him money long, him line it from Sovereign to Pavilion. And the DPP, right, and now prosecution can't make somebody like that go behind bars. I remember it clearly. See, just a quick backstory. Stephen Causwell, right, and Nadia Mitchell was in a situation where, to be honest, it's very common all across Jamaica, right? You have the big money man, right, bag of money, right? Then you have the attractive female, right? And the big money man and the female are in a relationship, but enough of them man, right, end up suffer from the KlLLNG virus. Even though you would think because them have all this money, right, and them can go get all kind of woman with them want, you would think they'd be happy, and if the man or woman have a problem, they just move on and get the next one. Instead, enough of them man are the worst. Enough of them man are even worse than the poor man who have KlLLNG, right? Because here why them behave a certain way. Because they must spend their money, and because they might buy this and might buy that, and they might, pay a one bill here or pay all their bill them. In the mind of the rich KlLLNG, him feel like say, well, you know what? You are my property. Just like my shoes or my watch, right? Then you can't go certain place, and if you feel like you want to live, then you have to go get kicked down and boxed down and all kind of things. It happens all too often. That's why you've heard me say many times I don't want no Jamaican man telling me nothing about no galleys. Because you can't be a gallus and have a scarcity mindset. Some man will have 15 women. And if one of the women them decides say she not answer her phone one night, even though him can go look for anyone of the other 14, right? Him gone at the 1 yard when the answer. And him gone with him cutlass, well sharp, right? And next thing you hear, in the news, can him chop up this and burn up that, right? And then people are saying, but them man, there was gallus. No, he wasn't. He was suffering from KlLLlNG, scarcity mindset. Right? Jamaican culture is rampant with it. We're talking about a culture, right, where man openly tell us to listen. If a girl think good between her foot, then she can't left the yard. And she left the yard, then me go stalk her and run her down and mash her up. And woman hear them thing there. Woman hear them thing there on social media. Hear them thing in a song and woman laugh and clap them and say, yeah man, a true man. And that my man tell me. Him say anyhow one day me call my phone and me not answer. He might come fire 10 rounds in my head. Yeah man, call me thing good. People joke and laugh with them thing in Jamaica. So now Stephen Causwell, as somebody who is suffering from the coronavirus, and as you know, one of the symptoms is entitlement, right, and feeling like say woman are your property, right, and ultimately you own and you can have total control over, right. Him and Nadia, right, did even left. They weren't together. Nadia was actually talking to a new man, right. Now, I want you to understand something. On the night when she lost her life, she had just spent some time with the new man, right? About a week with him at his house, right? And him drop her off. It was a July 2008. Him drop her off and she go home to the apartment in Oakland, right? And it was this night when things took a turn for the worse. Before, he did us a beat and, you know, very abusive in front of the people and all kind of foolishness in front of Nadia's daughter, right? But this night, things went to the extreme. See, you can go online and read the appeal verdict, right? Because he just lost his appeal, by the way. That's why I'm covering this story. You can Google Court of Appeal, Stephen Causwell, and you can read the full documents. But basically, just to give you a quick summary of that night, right? Leading up to it, 24 hours before the whole thing went down, he called the woman phone 76 times. Remember, you know, she was with the new man. She was with the new man, and old Stephen Causwell, riddled from head to toe with KlLLlNG, couldn't bear to realize that, well, the woman that him clearly perceived as his property was now moving on. And next man was in the picture, and him simply was not going to tolerate it. So, on that fateful night, right, him start do what him normally do. Start butter bruise the woman, right? Neighbor them start to hear all kind of noise and all kind of sound, right? But basically, as I say, you can go read up about the story online, right? I'm not trying to go into every single detail as to what happened that night, but just know this. Nadia Mitchell end up over the balcony and end up all the way in the yard. Now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, are the drop what she dropped from the balcony so far to the ground cause her to lose her life? You would be wrong. Check this out. She had 27 injuries in total. 19 of them happened before she got over the balcony. Let me say that again. 27 injuries, right, and find this now the postmortem. 19 were before she got over the balcony, and the rest of them are the drop what she get, obviously, from hitting the ground, including the fatal blow. So the blow over kill her wasn't the drop what she dropped, you know. Him lick the woman in her head with something, and then him push her over the balcony. So it wasn't the drop what kill her. But then check this out now, people. Stephen Causwell then proceeded to go downstairs, right? After knowing him kill the woman upstairs and throw her over the balcony, him then, quote unquote, rush her to hospital. And when him to the hospital, guess who them say a hold lamp on her hand, putting on his best Oscar-winning performance? The same Stephen Causwell. He was there, right, pouring out the essence of his being, acting like he was so sad, can't believe what happened to her. Just a show now how people dangerous. So anyway, police them start them investigation, and start collect evidence, start take them pictures, start to ask neighbors this and ask neighbors that. Them start to get a better picture as to what go on. So the court case, right? Remember, originally it happened in 2008. The court case started to drag on. Here comes the narrative. The narrative was, see there? We tell him to say, because Stephen Causwell have a bag of money on him family and him connections and him big and him uptown, see, nothing now come out of it because we've never seen a case drag out so long. That's what people were saying. In total, it took 8 years for Stephen Causwell go to trial. 8 years. People were saying this is unprecedented. We've never seen anything, even though that's a complete lie. Man. There are people, right? There are paupers who have spent 10, 15 years before they got a trial. As a matter of fact, look at your screen right now. Just this year, August this year, I don't have to dig back for no old case from 1952. Right. A man by the name of Linford Allen finally had him case through, because guess how long it take for film thing reach a trial? Or just how long it take before nothing serious even start in a film case? 13 years, 94 court appearances, 10 judges, 4 prosecutors, and all now the case can reach a trial. To the point they get dash out. Them dash it out. 13 years, 94 court appearances. The reason I put this out there because narrative, right? If you're not careful, you will accept it as fact. Because people were pushing that the Stephen Causwell case was unprecedented and the only reason it lasted longer because of money and him make the court system a delay. Him a buy out, and people were saying him buy out KlLLNG and him buy out the judge, and that's why people. You have man sit down, you have man now wait 15. We've heard about cases of man gone on 20, 30 years and they go in front of one judge. The justice system is slow, we know that. It's very lethargic, we know that. But narratives, because people were writing off the case. See there? 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year. When you reach up to 7 years, see there? KlLLNG get buy out, nothing now come out of it, case dash way. And if you make things worse, we start, yes, the police I say, boy, they can't find jeans, right? They can't find the man jeans, they can't find the phone, and they can't find pieces of evidence. There you go. People were convinced. It done. Case drag out so long, now they can't find evidence. See there? Uptown win again. See there? The rich man win again. See there? KlLLNG and our team can only win cases when it's against, your typical 87. People are saying, well, look how much evidence them have and look how much witnesses them have. Here are the facts. In that case, there was not a single witness as to what happened between Nadia and Stephen Causwell. Not one. As a matter of fact, listen out to this fact. As I said, the court documents, they're online. You can go check it out for yourself. Stephen Causwell was found guilty using only circumstantial evidence. Because remember, the fake woke crowd were saying, them favorite celeb, a circumstantial evidence and there is no witness, which is a lie, right? But they were saying, see, just circumstantial evidence, and see there, my fight against. That never ever happened. That's complete nonsense. Man got jail with circumstantial evidence all the time. All the time. And in Stephen Causwell case, that's what sink him. Circumstantial evidence. There was no witness. The last person to see Nadia alive was her friend, right? And Stephen Causwell tell her she must leave, right? And at one point, he even lose him temper and start to ask Nadia if she and the new man are do things in front of the friend. That's all the friend could testify. The neighbor them, all them could have say was them hear noise and them hear argument, but in terms of what happened, nobody never see nothing. Circumstantial evidence. People say, see, they done, the case done for. So now let's look at the odds KlLLNG and her team had to overcome. 1, there were no witnesses. 0. 2, them are run with circumstantial evidence. 3, enough of the evidence when they get collected, the police them quote unquote claim say them lost it. Right? Nobody can convince me say. Right? The last day means get a thing and make it disappear. Right? So enough of the evidence was gone. Police and they claim say, well, because the trial take 8 years and because them a move around this and the person had changed and new man come in and them a move around. That's why some of the evidence end up missing. But as me say, unicorn have a sell, so whatever. Anyway, the next obstacle was the fact that Stephen Causwell had assembled a very strong defense team and they were pulling out all the tricks. Them even bring people from the medical field to back up him argument because he was saying that as she take her own life, as in as she go over the balcony, even though the injury that took her life never even happened from her going over the balcony. But you don't know, if you have enough money, you can make people go up and stand and say anything. So some of the quote unquote experts them were saying, well, we look at this and we feel sad this and that. The defense were bringing out these medical people. Again, the DPP kept pushing, they kept fighting. The verdict came back, guilty. Everybody was stunned. Right? People said they can't believe it. But you know what didn't happen? Because since the public for the most part were writing off the DPP, I said, oh, justice system get buyout and people take bribe and all kind of things. You know what didn't happen after he got found guilty? Nobody came out and said, well, I talk publicly now, because all the fake woke experts, right, people from the academic fields and the entertainment field were pretending like them care about Nadia, right? Nobody came out and said, well, you know what, DPP, you know what, justice system, you pulled this one off. Excellent work. Nobody said that. You know why? Because when you're pushing a narrative, if the narrative end up getting mashed up with a case, all you do is then find something else to complain about. Right? There were people saying, okay, yeah, him find guilty, but you not talk about this. Because people don't actually care about the results. They care about extending the narrative. Right? So now them go, okay, he might get found guilty, but what happened to the man over there saying case there? And then the false equivalence is started. But the idea that, the DPP and the justice system, if you're a youth from, say, Norwood, or a youth from, say, Lariston, and you get accused of a crime, just because you come from certain areas, you will automatically be sent to prison. But if you come from another area, you will automatically be found not guilty. The evidence is right in front of people's eye that is complete nonsense. Let me ask you now a question. How much time J-Bad get a prison? Can somebody answer that in the comment section? Because once you come from a certain place and once you're poor and you get accused of a crime, you automatically go to jail. Somebody tell me in the comment section, how much sentence they give J-Bad? JJ Nakis? You don't know? How about bigger crime? Tell me, how much sentence the DPP they give bigger crime? How about Sci-Fi? Scott? How about Bad Fram? Come on, tell me. Tell me in the comment section. This is your narrative. If you come from a certain place and you're born poor and you come from the ghetto, then once you go to court, you're going to get found guilty and you're going to fling away just because you're poor. So tell me. How much time Sir D get? Sir D from Stone Crusher. How much time Damage from Moby get? The narrative is complete rubbish. People go to court, right? And if they have solid evidence and solid witness and all these things, then they get found guilty. If not, you got your yard. Sci-Fi, no when a long-term prison look like. You know how much time they hold on upon him? You know how much time they carry me? You know how much time police call in J-Bot, call in bigger crime, them go in 2-3 weeks, 2-3 months. Nobody no come forward, them let them go. And we are talking about people who have literally over 30 victims attached to them name. Scott was 18 years old and he had already killed over 30 people. Which prison sentence him get? And the next thing with a narrative there, I wonder if you realize the uptown youth and the ghetto youth turn up to court with the same lawyer. The same Bert Samuels represent the uptown youth, the 87 are go for him too. The uptown criminal who go for Peter Champagne, the downtown criminal who go for Peter Champagne. Everybody use the same lawyer. It's actually fascinating that, because when I youth, because we're hearing that, one of the reasons why people murder is because they're destitute and they can't even afford, a 1 pound of rice. But when you pick up a murder charge and go down a station, you might go down there with Bert Samuels. You have to ask yourself, just how poor are you? Just how destitute are you? Because enough 95 people can't afford Bert Samuels. If you have a high net worth, check Bert. Right? Peter Champagne, right? These big time lawyers, Hollywood lawyers. 87 I turn up a court with them too. You see, people are so obsessed with the narrative, sometimes you have to wonder if people want the justice system fail. Because people get excited when it look like, say, justice system are going to fail. When it look like, say, Stephen Causwell is going to bust the case, people are so excited. They were like, see, here we go. See it now? Yeah, man, me know them not going to fail. And then in time the justice system sink him, them say, disappearance. Them start whisper. Hear them now? Before, hear them loud. When them things say, him now get found not guilty. When him found not guilty, hear them start whisper. See, realize enough people in Jamaica, due to their acidity, they shout the failures of the DPP and whisper the successes. Come on, hit that dislike button. I'm working here. Hit that dislike button. Because I know that one day touch enough people can. Me say enough Jamaicans secretly want the justice system to fail so them can knock them chest and say, see it, I was right. And they just keep moving the goalpost. Okay, Stephen Causwell get accused of murder. I bet them don't even lock him up. I bet them don't even lock him up. Oh, hold on, them lock him up? Oh, well, I bet them give him one little cheap bail like 100,000 bail. Oh, wait, what? $3 million bail? Because that's how much bail them give Stephen Causwell. $3 million. Oh, well, I bet you don't even go trial. Oh, it reach trial? Oh, well, I bet the body attorney come testify and the prosecution drop the case. Oh, what, them don't drop the case? Oh, well, I bet him don't get found guilty. Oh, wait, him found guilty? Oh, I bet them don't hang him. And then they move the goal to post to a point where them know it's not even possible. Because them know it's nobody not getting hanging in Jamaica. So, because I'm an underdog in a fight, right? And for me, this is not personal. I can give credit where it's due. KlLLlNG and our team did an excellent job on this case. Matter of fact, I remember her scolding the police for the very sloppy work with them do. Right? She called it sloppy, but as far as I'm concerned, enough of those police clearly them take a little package. Clearly some of them take a little package because they're sloppy and then they're sloppy. Right? So, not only did she get the verdict, right, but she could call out and identify, say, listen, this kind of police work on enough of the investigation that go on and evidence together and so this thing will work. Enough case in Jamaica, them get thrown out based on the evidence gathering and evidence storing of the police. Enough case, a matter of fact, people who are 100% guilty walk away from cases, not because of nothing what the quote-unquote justice system do, or because the DPP them now work, but because of the way the police them either gather the evidence or store the evidence. People, we have to understand, the system needs a whole heap of work. Whole heap of work, obviously. Right? But we cannot afford narrative to to shape, right, the outlook on every single case. Sometimes people just need to sit back and watch how things play out. This idea of saying, listen, nobody will it cause we are waste time, that's the attitude why enough people get found not guilty in the first place. That's the attitude why enough witnesses nobody come forward, because witnesses hear the narrative. So, well, if you're Stephen Causwell and you have this much money and have this much links, nothing can happen to you. Enough people, for example, enough women who are in similar situations, they might think to themselves, well, me here say, if you have money, right, then you can't ever go to jail. Right? So me not go bother push the fact say, me I get kicked down every day and I get butter bruise every day because the man have money and me here say my money. Enough people hear that and sit down and take that as gospel and nobody push no case. People, look out for the Klansman 50. Stephen Causwell case was impressive for the DPP. It's the case that made me, because when the argument was KlLLNG, no use and she need to lose her job, I've always said I'm not going there. The DPP office dropped the ball enough time, right? But they've had some very, very big scalps. Right? Recently, them sing Tesha, and now it might be black man time. Right? City Post, Termite and the whole of them Monday might end up get sing. I am not ready to write off the DPP office and the justice system based on no narrative. I am giving the system a chance to work. If them fail, then sure, make we roast them like a breadfruit. But too often, people are write off case before case even start. We see it recently with the man from down in Portland, right, Beachy Stout. People are saying, nothing can, police can't charge them Monday because them man they have their money. And them man they have this, right? No police charge him. Then what them do? Move the goalpost. Well, it can't go to trial because... So we're going to see the same thing happen to Stephen Causwell. We're going to see Beachy Stout now. It's not the money itself that makes people bust case. It's what money can give you. Money can give you great lawyers. Money can make you buy off witnesses, right? Or pay a hitman to get rid of witnesses. Money can make you buy out one little corrupt cop to make evidence disappear. It's the tools that money give you, right? It's not just having money automatically means say you go bust case. If you turn up a court and the DPP and our team is on ball and them have evidence upon you, right, especially if them have one solid witness, you best believe jailhouse time. The reason why 116s and then people are going to jail is because one, they're not getting caught in the first place. 116s on video record them crimes. 116s, they depend on the corner brag how much people them kill. 116s they rub shoulders with certain people, so the masses don't even know what they are doing in the first place. If you take a 116, sell out a 116, and that's unlikely to happen. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna rest it right there, so. Patreon squad, big up on yourself. PIA, you don't know, more life. Vulture squad, stay circling. There's bound to be some scraps somewhere. Bless.